I started meditating about 30 years ago. I learned my first meditation techniques from my first martial arts teacher. So the single-pointed mind meditation technique is a very powerful concentration technique for meditation. And it involves concentrating on particular chakras. And the chakras are energy centers in our energy body. Not only do you develop concentration and the ability to hold your mind still, but once you become adept at this particular meditation technique on the chakras, you can raise the Kundalini energy. And the Kundalini energy is a very powerful energy of transformation. So here we are, my friends. Thank you for joining in day 1 of 30 days to raise your frequency. So what is this all about? During this time when we're quarantined to our homes and we're stuck inside, we're not socializing, this is a perfect time to work on our meditation practice. And, you might be feeling down, you might be feeling, concerned about everything that's going on in the world right now with the current state of affairs. And what it is to rise above and raise our frequency is a certain way to take our energies and instead of getting caught up in the fear that's going on right now, instead of getting caught up in all the different news reports that are coming out daily and we're counting the numbers, it's a matter of going within and raising our own frequency to a higher frequency. So this is our time that we can take control of our own state of mind and move into a high state of consciousness. So how do we do this? Well, this is what meditation is designed to do. So the 30 days to raise your frequency, I'm going to be coming on and doing a 20-minute meditation every day, and we'll get started with the meditation momentarily. It's going to be a guided meditation where I kind of walk you through each step of the meditation practice that I do personally. I call it the 5 steps to stillness. It's a way of concentrating on certain chakras that will bring your mind to a fine point. Bring your mind to a fine point. And when you bring your mind to a fine point, well, it's kind of like this pyramid here. And let's talk about the pyramid and how that relates to frequency. And what is frequency? Well, normally, if you look at the base of the pyramid, there's a longer line here than there is, say, here or here. And there's basically no line at the top, at the point. Most of the time our minds are down here. They're in and you might be able to see it from a bird's eye view a little bit better. It's kind of cycling in a certain shape. It's kind of cycling in a certain speed. It's cycling in a certain wavelength. So what is frequency? Frequency has to do with how quickly your mind and your vibration overall in your being is vibrating. How quickly your mind is vibrating. So in other words, if you're familiar with the refresh rate on your television screen, or how many frames per second, let's say your video recorder can record at, it has to do with the quality, the definition, the sharpness of the image. How many images can it record per second? How many frames? So this is exactly what frequency is all about. When we're in a high frequency, we're up here at the point. Well, when we're in a low frequency, we're down here in a longer wavelength. And what that translates into is at the higher frequency, we have higher energy. We have more access to clarity. We have more access to a clear, defined perception. And what this also means is a higher energy level. When we ourselves have a higher energy level, we're able to perceive on higher states of awareness. higher consciousness. So when you look at the pyramid, most of us are down here most of the time on the lower states of consciousness. So when we meditate, we seek to move up, shortening the wavelength to a high point, the high frequency. This is exactly what the single-pointed mind meditation technique, which I'll be sharing with you in a moment, does to your perception, to your mind, to your overall being. So, hopefully we've taken the time and printed out a Shri yantra. If you haven't and you're watching this video later, go ahead and pause the video. These are available for download at the top of the group. You print one out, and what this is we're going to be focusing on this in step 1 of the meditation. You focus on that central dot. As you can see within the circle, there's a little tiny dot there. And what you do is you look at that dot with your eyes. I put it up on my wall. And when I focus on that dot, what I'm doing is with my visual senses, with my most dominant sense, my eyes, I'm holding a gaze at that dot. And by doing that, I'm giving myself a very easy target, if you will, to focus on. You know, a lot of times when we're focusing on different things, whether it be a chakra, a mantra, the breath, a candle flame, whatever it might be, it's much easier to start off with something that we can see because we're so used to using our eyes. So this is a great way to warm up your concentration. So this is going to be step 1 in the 5 steps to stillness meditation that I'm going to be demonstrating today. So I'm going to be meditating to music each day. So you don't have to download any music, but the music is also available for free download at the top of the group in the announcements section. So if you go to the top of the group, in the announcements, if you click on announcements, it says see all. There's 2 announcements. The very first announcement, you can download the yantra. Print that out. And then the announcement below that has some meditation music. So today I'll be meditating with you guys with the album called Enlightenment. And I've downloaded 5 songs onto my phone. And what this is it's going to be 1 song per step. And I'm going to guide you through the meditation today. So what this meditation technique does is it brings your focus and concentration to a fine point. And what it does is with practice is it hones your concentration. It strengthens your concentration. And our concentration is very important for meditation because most of the time our mind is scattered. It's scattered among thoughts. It's scattered among images, memories, projections, thinking about what's going on, thinking about what's going to happen later, etc., etc. You guys know what I'm talking about. We all know what's inside of our minds. Sometimes our minds are at peace. Sometimes our minds are not. So what this meditation technique is designed to do is bring your attention to a focal point, whether it be the yantra in step 1 or the chakras in steps 2, 3, and 4. When you focus on something and you try to hold your mind there, all the rest of the distractions go away. Now, in reality, what happens is all the thoughts want to come in and distract you. All the bodily sensations want to come and distract you. So the practice is very simple. We hold our minds still, whether it be at the yantra or a chakra. And when the thoughts and distractions come in, you simply bring your mind back to the point. So I'm going to guide you guys through the meditation today. And I'm also going to be including a downloadable PDF form in the links below the video in the comments to give you guys a quick start guide to the 5 steps to stillness. It'll show you exactly how to go through the steps. And if you have any questions, you can message me right here or comment below the video. We're going to be coming on here every day. This is something that we can look forward to, our meditation practice. While we're locked up in our homes, while we're quarantined, while we're kind of practicing our social distancing, you know, there's no better time that we can hunker down and focus on our meditation practice because, you know, For most meditators and Buddhists and people who are interested in meditation, this is what a meditation retreat is like. It's isolation from the rest of the world. And when we meditate, we want to isolate ourselves from the rest of the world, because normally as meditators, as people who are interested in meditation, we're very sensitive beings. We're very psychic. We pick up and we feel all the energies around us, whether it's in our homes, whether it's in our communities, our families, our world. We feel everything that's going on. So what we're going to be doing over the next 30 days is discussing ways to raise our frequency. And today, before we get into the meditation, I just want to start off with one important way to raise your frequency each day. And you guys know this one, and it's gratitude. It's taking the time before you meditate and sit down. Let's all do this together and think about things that we can be grateful for right now. You know, the fact that we have food, the fact that we have shelter, the fact that we have running water, the fact that we have electricity, the fact that even though there are a lot of things that are challenging right now, you know, you may be out of a job, you might be home from work and not sure when work will continue, and there's a lot of factors that we need to consider. But one important thing is that we have our meditation. We have our ability to connect with the greater cosmos, even when the world around us in the physical realm, in the physical world, in the 3D world seems to be unsure right now. This too shall pass, and we can come out stronger. So over this 30-day period, I'm going to come on and raise the frequency. Every single day that we take some steps toward practicing our meditation, toward becoming more mindful, we will raise our own frequency. And this will elevate the frequency around us, the people around us, our communities around us, you know. So it's very important that this is one of the best things we can do right now at this time for ourselves, for our families, for our communities, and for the world, is to raise our own frequency. And we do this by streamlining our mind. You know, normally our mind is in sort of a scattered state. It's all over the place. It's thinking thoughts. It's kind of all over memories, projections. So in this meditation, when we bring our mind to a fine point and we hold it there, not only are we practicing our concentration ability, but we're making our mind more efficient. We're teaching our mind, we're training our mind to be in a different shape. Now, there might be moments when it can seem challenging because your mind wants to drift, it wants to wander. These are merely the tendencies that our current mind state has. Think of it this way. Let's say you haven't exercised in years and you've been out of, you know, the gym, you don't work out. Well, what happens to your body? You lose the muscle tone, you gain a little bit of body fat, you lose the energy, you lose that edge. Well, the mind is no different. Unless you're exercising the mind, unless you're putting the mind in some sort of a challenging position, the mind will also get lazy. The mind will also get out of shape. And the mind, the body, the emotions, they're all one. It's all connected. And that's why I love this meditation practice. I've been practicing this 5 steps to stillness meditation, ever since about 1992. Prior to that, I had done other meditation techniques. But this meditation technique always gave me the best results, because in each meditation session, I noticed a change in my perception and how much effort, how much concentration ability, how much intensity I put into the meditation session determined how much change occurred. It's like going into the gym, and I know I'm using the gym analogy a lot, but it's like going to the workout. And let's say you get on the treadmill. Everybody's been on the treadmill or the elliptical, right? Or the bike, let's say. And you bike for 10 minutes. Do you really think you're going to get a lot of benefit out of that 10 minutes? Now, for someone who's never worked out, Sure, that initial 10 minutes might be a great benefit. You might be out of breath. But over time, that 10-minute period is not really going to afford you much in terms of strength, in terms of endurance. So it's important that we put a good amount of intensity into our meditation practice. And that's why I love this technique. If you're somebody who loves a challenge, if you're someone who wants to derive benefits that change your mind, that bring your mind into a higher state of consciousness, into a higher frequency, this meditation practice is awesome. So what do you say we get to it, okay? The bell has rung. So normally I meditate to silence, and I do that with a meditation app that I've timed with bells to prompt me for each step in the 5 steps to stillness. But since I'm meditating with you guys, I want to make it super easy, and we're going to be meditating to music. Now, I've already downloaded some music to get started. So what do you say we get started with the meditation, okay? Here we go. So I've got some music ready to go. Boom. Okay. Awesome. So I'm going to kind of guide you through the meditation as we go. So the 5 steps to stillness is essentially a way to move from concentration to consciousness. Now, consciousness is the all-pervading essence of all things. Now, without getting too philosophical with you here, think of it this way. Behind everything, there is consciousness. Some call it the source consciousness. Some call it the witness consciousness. And consciousness is the highest state. So what we're doing is we're starting with our own ability to concentrate on one point. Because why I call it the 5 steps to stillness is because stillness is a high frequency. It's the highest frequency. So stillness would be the point at the top of the pyramid. So as we're going around and we get to the top, eventually we reach the point and there's no more place to go. Well, as we get higher in the meditation practice, we will reach a certain point. And this point of stillness, it's kind of like a pendulum swinging. When this pendulum swings back and forth and eventually reaches its still point, there's no more swinging. It's just perfectly still. So during the meditation practice, try your best to focus on each step. I will kind of guide you through and talk you through. And over the next 30 days, if we practice each day, you'll get better. And again, I'll be including a downloadable PDF so you can kind of have a quick start guide, a little bit more of a verbal explanation as to how to go through this technique. So we've got step 1, where we focus on the Shri Yantra. Now, if you haven't printed out a Shri Yantra yet, what you can do is simply listen to the music for step 1. Okay? Now, step 2 is going to be focusing on our navel chakra. Step 3, we're going to move up to our heart chakra. Step 4, we're going to be moving up to the third eye chakra. And then step 5 is a process of surrender. We're going to surrender to the stillness. It's basically just letting go. This is truly where the meditation begins. No more focus, no more concentration, just completely letting go and being. So what are the chakras? In case you're new to the chakras, as you know, we've got a physical body. But we've also got what's called the subtle physical body, or otherwise known as the energy body. And the energy body is really where it's at. This is where the chakras are. Now they correspond to these areas physically where I'll be pointing, but they're actually in another body. This body is a body of subtle energy where chakras, energy channels known as meridians, also known as nadis, also known as like the main central channel is called the Sushumna. Then you have the Ida and the Pingala. There are lots of different avenues and pathways that energy flows within your energy body. And there's chakras all over the body, in the hands, in the feet, they're all over the energy body, but there are 7 primary chakras. In this particular technique, I focus on just 3 chakras: the navel chakra, the heart chakra, and the third eye. Now, before we get started, I just want to briefly go over each chakra and what kind of feelings are generated around the chakras. When we come from step 1, we're warming up our concentration with the yantra. Then we move that concentration warm up to focusing on the navel chakra. Now, the navel chakra is in an area just below the navel. And what I recommend is to touch lightly with your fingertips just to give your attention a point to go to. And what we want to do is we want to feel that area. We want to feel the energy around that spot. So what we're exercising here is single-pointed mind, but now we're taking it to single-pointed mind and we're feeling. So in other words, what is single-pointed mind? Single-pointed mind is when you focus on only one thing without the distraction. Now, of course, thoughts and distractions, bodily sensations might come, and when your awareness and your attention will wander, we just simply bring it back to the point of focus. Over time, with practice, you get better at this and you become more adept at this process. So when we're focusing on a chakra, we're going to be feeling that spot. So at the navel chakra, the navel is the chakra of power, raw power. Then we're going to move up step 3 to the heart chakra. The heart chakra is the chakra of love, of balance. And when we activate these chakras, these types of energies might be felt. Initially, you might feel like a cool or even a warm or perhaps a tingling type of sensation. And that means that the chakra is warming up. When we focus on a chakra, when we put our attention there, when we place our awareness there, where the mind is, energy will follow. And energy is the key to unlock and open the chakras. So the chakras are there in our energy body, but they might be in a dormant form because they haven't been focused on in a while or maybe ever. And so your energy body exists, but for many people, the energy body has become so blocked up, so numb from all the years of, kind of contraction, of shielding, of numbing ourselves because we are sensitive beings, and perhaps we don't want to feel all the energies that we encounter in the world. So when we focus on our heart chakra, there are so many beautiful feelings that can arise. When the heart chakra opens, it can feel as if you're in a state of beautiful bliss, ecstasy, oneness, joy, love. And this potent energy that is released when we focus on our heart chakra boosts our immune system. Each chakra is related to various glands in the physical body. So when our chakras open, there's also a corresponding release of various hormones and chemicals in our physical bodies, various glands that release certain immune boosting hormones. So the heart chakra in particular will help to, energize your aura, not only to boost your immune system physically, but also to boost your immune system psychically and energetically. And as we know at this time, the reason why we want to raise our frequency is because there are so much going on right now in the world that we want to kind of build our own energetic immunity, not only physically, but energetically, so that we're not pulled down by the fear in the world. I think it's an important time to be very moderate with what kind of media we take in. It's important to be informed and to know what's going on in your area for sure. But it's also important to know when to say when, to know when we've indulged a little bit too much in the constant, incessant news reports that we don't necessarily need to be focusing on all the time. As meditators, we're very sensitive, so we need to have a moderate approach to our intake of media at this time. So that's very important. So after the heart chakra, we then move up to the third eye chakra, between the eyebrows and slightly above. Now the third eye is the mystical eye. It is a chakra of seeing. It's also a chakra of knowledge, wisdom. So when the third eye opens, our head center is opened. And what you might feel is a rise of your Kundalini energy. As each chakra opens, it allows for the Kundalini energy to rise. The Kundalini energy is the energy of life, and it's the energy of transmutation and transformation. And what the Kundalini will do is it will charge up your aura with high frequency energy. And this is what lifts you into higher states of consciousness. You know, it takes a tremendous amount of energy to break out of the regular, normal state of consciousness that we're in. And we all know this. When we're in a low energy state, it's difficult to be, as happy as we possibly can be. When we have a lot of energy, it's easy to be happy. And that's just a great example. So each meditation session should raise your energy levels, raise your frequency to a higher frequency. So after step 4, we go into step 5. And step 5 of the 5 steps to stillness is simply letting go. I call this step surrender. And surrender just means losing control. There's no more focal point. There's no more exercise. We just want to allow all the previous work that we've done within the previous 4 steps to continue to move us into a state of stillness. And as you recall, stillness is the highest frequency. So there's not too much instruction for the 5th step. The 5th step is just to be, to let go and to surrender. When thoughts and distractions come in and out of the mind, simply ignore them and just continue to be still and allow the process to happen, okay? So you guys ready? Here we go. I know it's been kind of long-winded up to this point. Let's get started with the meditation. Again, I'll be meditating today with the music. Meditate along. And again, if you don't have a yantra for step 1, you can just listen to the music and I'll be guiding you through each step. And of course, this video will be available for you to check out later if you don't want to meditate right now or you don't have the time. And again, I'll be including a downloadable link to a free PDF with a little bit more explanation about how to do the 5 steps to stillness. So this is going to be great. I'm going to come on every day. We're going to do a 20-minute meditation. We're going to talk about ways to raise our frequency. Today we touched on a little bit of gratitude. And just before your meditation, you just want to feel grateful. Grateful for our health. Grateful for the fact that we have the ability to communicate via live Facebook right now. That even though we're stuck perhaps in our homes, we can still reach out to those around us and communicate. All right, so let's get started, my friend. So the first step, we're going to start with the yantra. Let me get my Bluetooth speaker up so we have a little bit better musical experience going on. Okay, let's take that back to the top. Here we go. Step 1, we're going to focus on the yantra. Now, if you don't have the yantra downloaded and printed out yet, just listen to the music. Step 1 is a way to warm up our concentration ability. And you can do that just by listening deeply to the music. But what we're going to do is focus on the yantra with our eyes. So we're going to practice just by staring at that central dot of the yantra for step 1. Here we go. Put a smile on your face. When we smile, we increase our frequency immediately. Okay, now that we've warmed up our concentration by either listening to the music or focusing on the yantra, we're going to move to step 2. And step 2 is feeling your navel chakra. Place the fingertips just below the navel. Close the eyes. Feel the pressure of the gentle touch of your fingertip just below the navel. Focus your awareness there. Breathe naturally. When you're ready, remove the fingertip and continue to hold your awareness at the navel center, feeling that spot. Now move your awareness up to your heart center. Gently place the fingertips in the center of the chest and feel that spot. Feel the energy around your heart chakra. When thoughts come in and out of the mind, just ignore them and return your awareness to feeling the energy at the heart center. Beautiful. Now move your awareness up to your third eye, between the eyebrows and slightly above the center of the forehead. Place the fingertip there and gently touch. Feel that spot. Continue to breathe naturally. Now remove the finger and feel. Now for step 5, just let go into the stillness and surrender, no control, just be. Very nice. And there you have it, my friends. Now, if that was your first time trying, you may have noticed it's difficult to hold your mind still on one thing. But after a few times, you'll start to get the hang of it and it'll become easier. So, I'll be including a downloadable PDF that will give a little bit more instructions on how to perform the 5 steps to stillness. Now, if the music seemed a little bit distracting to you at first, I understand. Normally I practice this technique to silence, and I use the Insight Timer app on my phone to, with a little bell ding, prompt me to the next step. And you can program that, which is something that I'm teaching in my private coaching course that I'm doing right now. So along with the 30 days to raise your frequency, I'm going to be launching another 30-day private coaching group training program that's going to be available for $30. And that's going to be separate in another Facebook group. It's the same program that I launched during the last 30-day challenge. So if you need a little bit more instruction, if you need more detail, if you need some, specific questions answered, not only on how to meditate, but how to do this technique, especially using the Insight Timer app, then I highly recommend doing that program, because you'll come out of that program very proficient at this technique. We have 4 group coaching calls that we do live via Zoom, and it's great. So you can message me for more information about that. I'll be enrolling students in that for this week, and that's going to begin on April 1st, and that's going to run through the month of April. So here we are, my friends. Day 1, 30 days to raise your frequency. Thank you for joining me in today's meditation. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, if you have any questions about this technique, please feel free to post a comment down below. And have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow in the next video.